In today's video, Blockfi is once again cutting interest rates due to the market conditions. Should you still really use it? Next up, Bitcoin saw a resistance at 36k and is now heading down, but we'll go through my technical analysis. And finally, Germany's institutions can now collectively invest 20% into Bitcoin. What will this do to the price of Bitcoin? Let's find out. Welcome back everyone, I'm your host Edward, and on this channel I talk about stocks and crypto news, so if that's something you're interested in, feel free to subscribe and hit that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, let's just dive right in. So as usual, I'll just go through the markets and then we'll get on to the news. So the stock market today is a little flat, but there is a major headline here where 130 nations supported the US proposal for global minimum tax on corporations. But yeah, I'll talk more about this article tomorrow. Now in terms of the crypto market, we can see that Bitcoin and Ethereum is down. I'll get through the technicals a little bit later throughout the video because right now Bitcoin is testing a really important support level, so I'll dive deeper into it later. But the main article that I want to talk about today is Blockfi and how they're going to be cutting their interest rates. And right now it seems like every month they're cutting their interest rates. So it was like 6% 2 months ago, and then last month it was 5%. And now next month's going to be like 4%. And in the terms of service, they actually have the right to change the interest rate depending on the market conditions. So over here, we can see that, if you hold less than 0.25 worth of Bitcoin, then the new APY is 4% versus 5%. And the more Bitcoin you have, the APY does drop. And I believe when Blockfi got a lot of traction, a lot of institutions tried to, take advantage of their interest rates, which is why they started this tier. Now here's the reason. Borrowing demand from Blockfi's clients continues to be stronger than ever, but the tenor of the loans has gone down along with the rates. When there's less demand on their loans, they kind of adjust their rates depending on their risk tolerance. And this is how Blockfi really makes their money, right? So they kind of borrow the capital at a certain rate, which is the interest rate that they give us, and then they lend it at a higher interest rate, which is their loans. So that's how they kind of make money. So essentially it's taking the same philosophy as a bank, right? When we put money in the bank uses our money to make more money. So essentially that's what Blockfi is doing, but with loans. And they also recently announced a credit card, so that's another revenue stream. And there's a lot of questions on whether how safe Blockfi really is, because they did have a data breach back in May of 2020. They're going to target these clients and probably even SIM swap them, like what they mentioned right here. But yeah, it seems like the hackers successfully stole information like their emails and phone numbers, which is why there is a risk of putting your crypto assets into a third party like Blockfi, Coinbase, and etc. This is why I think you should have a ledger just in case if anything happens. But yeah, Blockfi is backed by Gemini, which is probably the most safest crypto exchange in my opinion, because they never really got hacked before and they care about security. So when a company is backed by another company, that means they have their backs, right? So if Blockfi goes down to zero, Gemini has to back them up, and they have about 95% of their assets in cold storage and 5% in hot wallets. But yeah, there is a controversial debate on whether you should actually leave your bitcoins with a third party, because the purpose of Bitcoin is kind of holding your own coins and having custody of it so that no one can take it from you. And it requires a lot of trust with these third parties because there's a lot of trust issues in the crypto space. There's a lot of crypto exchanges that kind of just went rogue and plenty of other scams out there, which is why the crypto community is kind of reluctant to put their bitcoins with another third party like Blockfi. And I totally agree with it, right? But you kind of have to do your research, and you obviously don't put your life savings into Blockfi. Just put enough that you're comfortable with and earning like a 4% interest in Bitcoin, because compounding interest is like the 8th wonder of the world, right? Next, I want to get into the technicals for Bitcoin, because 2 days ago we did hit about $36,000, but there was a lot of resistance there, and now we're going back down. And I think that right now we're actually testing it at the moment, because if we look here, we had a lot of bounces at this area, which is about $33,000, right? We had about like 5 touches. So there's one here, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And right now, at the moment that I'm recording, we're testing it and seeing if we can hold it right there. And based on the Wyckoff accumulation model, right? If I put this side by side, so give me a second, we're literally right here, right? So this was $36,000, and right now we're kind of testing the next support line, which is about, $33,000. So we're literally right here at the moment. So we do see a downward move. Then the next support line would be the one back here, which is about $30,000, right? But yeah, we'll see what happens. Technicals aren't always 100% accurate, but if this does play out, we're gonna see bull run in July. But yeah, I think this is gonna be the last month where you can kind of accumulate a lot of Bitcoin before the wake of accumulation does go to phase D. So next up, I want to talk about a FUD article here saying that, Bitcoin had a wild volatility in the first half of 2021. And here are the 5 biggest risks ahead. All right, so let's just debunk this article here. First one is regulation and how, China kind of clamped down on cryptocurrencies. So for this one, I somewhat agree because, China is kind of, being serious this time on banning crypto in China. Although that is a couple billion of people not being able to buy cryptocurrencies, that doesn't mean that the other rest of the world won't adopt crypto, right? So I mean, if you look at the bigger picture, not a worry in my opinion. And next, I also talked about how the UK kind of banned Binance, which is the biggest crypto exchange at the moment. However, if you think about it, there's so many other ones. Like, it's not just Binance kind of having a monopoly in that field. So I don't think that should be kind of a reason not to invest into Bitcoin. So the second reason they point to is volatility. Because Bitcoin rallied to 65,000 and now it's only worth 30,000. But yeah, that's almost a 50% decrease in everyone's portfolio, right? Especially if you're heavily in Bitcoin. And for me, I love volatility because if it goes into your favor, right, then you're gonna be making a lot of money. And I feel like a lot of people can't stomach the idea that if it goes from 65,000 to 30,000, they start panicking and getting scared. But I think people have to realize that you only lose money if you sell, right? At a loss. But yeah, it's more of a mentality thing. And if you can't handle it, then, don't invest into Bitcoin. Just put your money into an ETF and you'll be set. So the third issue here is the environmental concerns. And, I understand that, people can't morally invest into something they don't believe in, especially if it hurts the environment. But Bitcoin miners are making a huge drastic change because 65% of Bitcoin miners are now gonna have to, leave China, so they're gonna find different sources of energy to maximize their returns, and renewable energies are the way to go. So again, to me, there's just short-term issues. So the fourth reason here is stablecoin scrutiny, and I do understand because not a lot of people like Tether because it's not really backed one by one to the US dollar, because they don't have the reserves to back them up. But there's a lot of competition coming into the stablecoin space like USDC, Gemini Coin, and all these other companies are creating their own stablecoin. But short term, yeah, this could be an issue, but long term, if I'm holding, Bitcoin for 10 years, there's pretty much nothing to me. And if you're trying to kind of get quick money, just go to Wall Street Bets, right? So I mean, that's that. All right, lastly, in this article, it says that meme coins and scams could be a reason not to invest into Bitcoin. And I feel like, if you logically think about it, how will another coin kind of, affect the fundamentals of Bitcoin? Obviously, it just gives cryptocurrencies a bad reputation. And I just think a lot of people don't do their research and their due diligence, which is why I think people should just, have an open mind and kind of dig deeper into it instead of just, just reading something and believing it. So it is what it is. Now, the last article that I want to talk about is Germany and how, the institutions are now able to invest into Bitcoin. And obviously, I won't get too deep into this, but just know that about $415 billion worth of money can flow into crypto assets. And this is going to be huge for Bitcoin, especially if, more than 50% of this, capital gets put into Bitcoin. Because right now, Bitcoin does have, a market cap of only $600 billion. But yeah, for those that don't know what the Spezialfonds is, it's pretty much a way where, institutions can put their money into this fund. So think of it as an ETF for rich people. But yeah, Germany actually passed a law where they allowed, this special fund to invest 20% of the capital into crypto assets. But yeah, there's huge news, but usually Bitcoin doesn't, go up based on catalysts. It's more based on, traders. But yeah, lastly, I think, this whole entire crash could be Tom Brady's fault, because he put laser eyes right at the tip before, we started seeing a downward trend. So, if anyone has some suggestions, tweet at him, let him know, because he is the GOAT. But yeah, I thought it was funny. just wanted to bring it up. That wraps up for this video. If you're interested in buying crypto, please head into my referral links in the description box down below so we can both get a small cash bonus once you sign up and make some trades. Not only that, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm, and if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can see my videos every single week. That's pretty much it for today. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.